Hello everybody, vanburman here. Welcome to today's video. I'm going to be doing a quick alpha review of the Stomping Ground, which is a new game that's come out on Steam. A lot of people have described it as DayZ with dinosaurs, which, to a certain extent is true, apart from, DayZ only really has one type of zombie, and Stomping Land has got a whole proliferary of different dinosaurs. Now, one of the things I want to mention early on is this is an alpha review. This isn't the full version review. I think we're on version 0.35. So because of that, you have to take everything that I say with a pinch of salt. Some of the stuff will be constructive, some of it will be praise as well, obviously. So the first thing to say about the game is that I like how it's balanced at the minute, considering it's alpha. Hopefully it will become a bit more difficult when it releases into a full version, but basically within about 5 or 10 minutes of starting the game, you can equip yourself with pretty much all the weapons, get yourself some food, a little base setup. All you have to do is scout out an area with some rock and some wood, which are two of the main resources in the game. Well, there's only 4 main resources anyway, so that does help. And it's about being able to read the dinosaurs as well. But yeah, as I said, you can get yourself pretty well equipped within the first 5 minutes, and that I think really helps the game. Also really helps when you spawn back in as well after you've been killed. There's not a huge different set of stages you have to go through in order to get up to a decent level. There is in terms of being able to ride a dinosaur. I've now figured out, or been told and discovered how you do it. You have to have 100 expertise, and you gain expertise just by playing it. By surviving, by crafting different items, by harvesting the materials. And, I think that, that's the only real downfall you would get from dying, is losing the progress towards that expertise. And then you do have to find healing berries, which are located in caves surrounded around the island. But I'm just going to play some footage of the game while I talk about a couple of things so you can get an idea. Now, unfortunately with this one I turned the brightness up because it was dark just before here, but as you'll be able to tell, the graphics for being an alpha version are really good. It runs a lot smoother than my videos caught it at. It looks a bit jerky and a bit laggy, but honestly none of that shows up in the actual game itself, so it's a bit disappointing that it hasn't recorded terribly well. All the different weapons and items that you can get seem to do have a good effect, apart from maybe the shield. I think that is perhaps to fend off PvP. There is a bad point, but I'll move on to that shortly. You get more than enough warning about the dinosaurs. They each have their individual calls, and you do get to learn that very quickly. And there are certain strategies you can employ in order to be able to hide from dinosaurs effectively. Normally it involves lying down, and you have a sight meter on the right hand side and a hunger meter as well. The brighter the eye is, the more visible you are, and the more prominent that meat and bone becomes, the more often you need food. So you can harvest food from animals, and you get a basic harvesting tool in your primary slot, which allows you to harvest food from the dinosaurs, to cut down or to get wood from trees, and to get stone from stone mounds. So that all works very well. It's quite difficult teaming up with people, because the only way you sort of make them friendly is by having a tribe together, and to do that you really need to get to talk to someone first in order to be able to set that up, and the game doesn't have any push to talk, which makes things a bit more difficult in that regard. The riding of the dinosaurs is really cool, by the way. I haven't had a go at riding one yet, which is absolutely frustrating me. But I came up on some guys who had they had a dinosaur. Both of them had T-Rexes, and they were riding them, and I was sort of trying to ambush them here, but I won't spoil that. That's going to be on a separate video on the channel. The other things that happen as well is you get kidnapped by people, and they'll tie you up and drag you around. Now the great thing about it is you can also put people in cages, and that's quite a fun thing to do. I actually managed to do that earlier with someone else I was playing with, but I was Well, I might be able to dig that footage out because I was live streaming. But the point is that, you know, there is a lot of options you can do with different players. The push to talk thing would really help. The fact that you have to build a cage around them while you've got them tied up is a little bit difficult. I would have preferred to build the cage and then throw them in. But, you know, once again, you know, these are just small teething problems that there are in the game. And it's just one of those things that you're going to find. I think the dinosaurs do work really well. I haven't seen them bug out or do anything too strange. I think sometimes around your camp, the dinosaur spawns are huge. I went to a camp of a pretty well-established tribe, and they had 4 T-Rexes around that area. So I think the way it's set up is to provide a challenge for higher expertise level people who will have dinosaur mounts, which, you know, is fair enough. But for me, just wandering in, it's far too much to deal with, I think, personally. But I really like the job they've done with it. The asking price for an alpha game, I questioned it at first, but I mean, I guess assuming that the job that they're doing is going to translate into the full finished version, then it will be a really good game, and it will definitely be worth getting at that point. It is worth getting now. You can have some fun with it. There's no doubt about that. You know, just spawning in and trying to survive is fun in itself without, well, I'm fed up of being chased by zombies, to be fair. And you can, of course, there will be options to track big dinosaurs as well. And from what I gather, they're planning on adding some new stuff in very shortly, so that will be interesting. I'd like to see a bit more character customization, perhaps. Maybe with some armor that you can build for yourself. A couple more different structures as well. I'd quite like the option to rest around a campfire, for example, to gain health. But, I mean, aside from that, I don't really have too much other thoughts on it at the minute, other than it's quite solid for an alpha game. And I'm sure some people will experience a lot of bugs, game-breaking bugs, but as I say, there's been nothing there, really. There's been a few graphical glitches, but aside from that, it's very good. One thing I would like to make clear, or one thing I would like to say about it is, I got stuck in a cave where the berries grow, and you need these to be able to heal the dinosaurs, so you can tame them and therefore ride them and to revive members of your tribe. So they're quite important, these berries. They're probably the most valuable resource in the game. And I went into a cave, and you are really meant to take a torch in, but I got stuck in there for about 25 minutes, and I couldn't get out. I couldn't see what I was doing. The screen was literally pitch black. I turned the brightness up, still couldn't see anything. So I think they need to make a change to that. I mean, there needs to be a way for you to at least be able to see the way out, so perhaps you can see the cave entrance, but you can't see what's going on further into the deepness of the cave to make them have to craft a torch before going in. So that would be, you know, one negative to it, I suppose, in terms of what I found from the gameplay. But other than that, it's probably definitely worth getting. If you're hesitant, then by all means, you know, it would not do any harm to leave it for a few updates, see what it looks like later on. I just got hit by the dinosaur. Ah, dear. It is a fun game. Honestly, it is. Despite the fact it's being captured here, this does have a happy ending. Trust me. But that'll be in one of my upcoming videos as well. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this has been of some informative help. Maybe it's not. But I'll see you all very soon, guys. Goodbye.